Every man will submit to something in his life, whether that be money, sex, drugs and addictions, whatever it may be. If you submit to those things, you'll end up being a slave to them for the rest of your life. If you submit to money, well, one day you'll lose all your money. It'll be gone. If you submit to sex, you're gonna sleep with one woman and that's not gonna be enough. And you're gonna sleep with the next woman, that's not gonna be enough. And you keep repeating that cycle over and over and over and over again until you've slept with an uncountable amount of women and you still just feel empty in your heart and unfulfilled. And that's because that's not what God designed us to do. He designed us to get married and have one woman. All these worldly things leave you feeling empty and unfulfilled. Be completely honest with me. When you're on your deathbed and you think back to what you regret in your life, do you think you're gonna say to yourself, ah man, I wish I had more sex. Dude, I wish I worked harder and made more money. I wish I did more drugs. I wish I watched more prawn. Like, are you actually gonna say those things? Let's be honest. All those things I just mentioned, you're not gonna wish that you did those things more. When you're on your deathbed, you're gonna wish you spent more time with your family. You're gonna wish that you showed people more love. You're gonna wish that you gave more of your money away. Because you're gonna think back and you're gonna realize that all that time was wasted and it was all for nothing. But if you submit to God, the God of love, the God of freedom, you will be truly fulfilled in your heart. You will be at your deathbed and you're not gonna think back and regret most of the things you did. You're gonna be much more fulfilled in your heart, pursuing God's plan and not your own, submitting to Him instead of submitting to money and drugs and sex and all these worldly pleasures. You submit to Him, you'll truly feel fulfilled in your heart. You won't feel empty. You will have meaning and purpose in your life. And then you'll think back and you'll say to yourself, I'm glad I spent time with my family. I'm glad I served others and gave my money away. I'm glad that I loved others more than myself. I'm glad that I lived a life for God instead of living life for me. You'll be finally free from sin, free from the bondage, because that's what sin is. That's what all these things I mentioned are. It's just chains. It's just a prison. The devil makes you think that all these things are what you want and what you need, but it's not. The devil is the enemy, and he wants to take everything away from you. He wants to take everything that you love away from you. He wants you to be miserable. He wants you to be in prison. He wants you to be depressed. He wants you to be anxious. He wants you to be angry and bitter. He wants you to feel empty inside. So if you submit to all these things and you submit to the devil, that's all you're gonna get. That's all you're gonna get out of it. Depression, anxiety, anger, bitterness, you name it. But if you submit to God, you'll get none of that. It's your choice. Do you submit to the devil or do you submit to Jesus Christ and follow God's word instead of the words of man? It's up to you, bro. Make a choice. Just make sure you make the right one. Love you guys. Peace out.